Internationally, there are two major political changes afoot. On current figures, which may take weeks to finalise, the Merkel era in Germany may be over. But the figures say a lot about contemporary politics. Merkel's opposition, the Socialists, are on 25.7% of the vote. Her Conservative Christian Democrats and their coalition ally, the Christian Social Union, that's Merkel's outfit, are on 24%. But these two major parties, this is the point, once commanded over 90% of the vote in Germany, now they can't get to 50% between them. There'll be all sorts of coalition manoeuvring for months. Political delusion, though, is never far away. Olaf Scholz, the leader of the centre-left Social Democrats, got 25% of the vote and then said, quote, "The vote of the citizens is unequivocal. I also think it's a very clear mandate for us to make sure we get a good and capable government for Germany. We want to form the next government." The bloke's on 25%. 75% didn't want him. It's a devastating departure for Angela Merkel. It's the first time in 16 years she hasn't run for office, and she now faces the prospect of seeing her party consigned to opposition. But there's a long way to go. At the end of the day, though, I think you can expect the Chancellor to be this Olaf Scholz, the leader of the Social Democratic Party, more socialist than Democrat. But tomorrow is a big day for the Japanese. As is known, Prime Minister Suga, who is 72, announced earlier this month he would not stand for re-election after support for him collapsed over his handling of the pandemic. Possible replacements include 58-year-old Taro Kono, a US-educated former foreign minister who's said to have the support of Prime Minister Suga. Kono's in charge of the vaccine rollout, and as a former Defence and Foreign Minister, he's got the backing of the current Prime Minister. Technically, the election is for the party presidency, but that effectively secures the Prime Ministership. The governing party, the LDP, has only been out of office twice since it was founded in 1955. Then there is Fumio Kishida, a former Foreign Minister, whose endorsements often determine the outcome of party elections. It was Kishida who announced back in August he would challenge for the leadership, and that triggered the events which eventually saw Prime Minister Suga stand down. Kishida was second behind Suga in the 2020 presidential vote to replace then Prime Minister Abe. His father and grandfather were MPs. But then for the first time ever, there are two women who've entered the race. Sene Takeshi is closely aligned to former Prime Minister Abe. She's on the right wing of the party, a staunch conservative. Amongst her policies is a strong opposition to Japan apologising for its wartime aggression. She was a leading figure against the push to change laws that dictate married couples must share the same surname. She is polling below Kono, but the still powerful former Prime Minister Abe continues to support her. Then there's the 61-year-old Seiko Noda, very late entrant to the race. The second woman, she's in the past been hailed as Japan's most likely first female PM. She's a former Minister for Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment. She has spoken in support of same-sex marriage and changing the laws that require married couples to have the same surname, which predominantly sees women forced to change their names. She said she wanted to create a Japanese society where women, children, the elderly and the disabled can live comfortably. Interestingly, she gave birth to a son in 2011 at the age of 50 using an American egg donor after years of trying other fertility treatments. She carried the baby herself. Surrogacy is not widely accepted in Japan. So what will happen in the next 24 hours? The fact that Mr Abe is supporting the 60-year-old female Sene Takeshi is said to cast doubt on the prospects of Mr Kishida and Mr Kono. Takashi is a former writer and TV commentator, so she's well known. She was considered a rank outsider until the former Prime Minister Abe, who remains an important figure in the ruling Democratic Party, confirmed he would support her. Women make up only 10% of Japan's politicians. Whoever wins the vote to replace Mr Suga will have to fight a general election within 2 months. As things stand, it would appear that Taro Kono, who is overseeing the rollout of the vaccine virus, of the virus's vaccine, got that upside down, would be the favourite. But a big day looming in Japan. The ruling Liberal Democratic Party, they will in the next 48 hours choose a new president, who in turn will be the next Prime Minister, most probably Taro Kono, unless the former Prime Minister Abe has sufficient clout to get over the line the 60-year-old female Sene Takeshi, an avowed fan of the former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Interesting times indeed in Germany and Japan.